What to do with the Inner Harbor? That is a controversial ballot question regarding redevelopment downtown. The state's highest court will decide whether or not it can be on the ballot this year. Right now, that is still in limbo, trying to figure it out. As WJZ has been on top of this story from the very beginning. Tara Lynch in your corner, on your corner in Annapolis tonight with details on those arguments heard by the Maryland Supreme Court today. Tara, good evening.
Rick, good evening. You mentioned it. This is a very controversial topic, and it really comes down to what question F is. It calls for changing the sub-district that the Inner Harbor currently is to allow for development, and most importantly, it would call for, it would make way rather for the Harborplace development to happen.
You've got a resolution that is word salad masquerading as a ballot question.
Ballot question F calls to remove the special sub-district designation for 4.5 acres of the Inner Harbor to make way for a mixed-use development. That includes the Harborplace project led by MCB Real Estate. The plan would remove the current pavilions and add mixed-use buildings to the harbor, including high-rises. In a case filed in Anne Arundel County, a judge ruled the question was unconstitutional in mid-September. The state argued in court on Wednesday that the case was filed after the judicial review period for ballot question language.
Those are the items that the State Board of Elections is responsible for when it certifies the content and arrangement, not the substantive legality underlying questions, candidates, or any other issues attendant to the election.
The massive, nearly billion-dollar project has drawn criticism from a group represented by Thiru Vignarajah. The group claims the question is confusing and that it wasn't easily accessible to voters. The state says the city submitted the question to the State Board of Elections on August 2nd.
That language was then ascertainable from the City Law Department, from the State Board of Elections.
The City Council has already passed 2 bills that would allow rezoning if the charter amendment is passed, according to Vignarajah. He says the ballot question would rezone the Inner Harbor subdistrict, and that should not be a permanent decision in the city's charter.
If this zoning regulation is cemented into the city charter, that zoning regulation, a classic piece of legislation, can now only be removed by a charter amendment.
The charter amendment does not require any particular zoning.
Vignarajah says this decision could come down after the election and that voters should consider what they want to see in the Inner Harbor.
We think the people of Baltimore are clear that they want to preserve the Inner Harbor Park as a park, not transfer it over to private developers to turn into luxury apartments and parking garages.
Again, there is no deadline for the state Supreme Court to come down with a decision. So what should you do if you're either voting early or maybe voting by mail and you already have your ballot in hand? Well, Vignarajah says you should vote on that question. As it stands right now, any vote for it will be nullified. But if the state Supreme Court reverses the decision, those votes could count. For now, reporting live on your corner in Annapolis, Tara Lynch, WJZ.
Tara, thank you.